In a world filled with noise, where the divine is often reduced to mere whispers, there is a truth that has been buried beneath layers of dogma and silence. What if I told you that for centuries a powerful, sacred feminine energy has been deliberately erased from the pages of history? What if the story of wisdom, the very force that birthed the universe itself, was never meant to be hidden? Sophia, the goddess of wisdom, the divine feminine, the key to creation itself. Yet, in the shadows of time, her name has been erased, her presence obscured. Why? Why has the sacred wisdom of the feminine been so carefully buried? Could it be that something so powerful, so transformative, is feared? Could it be that the very essence of Sophia, an energy that unites and heals, was too powerful for a world that sought control, that feared the equality of the divine masculine and feminine? This is not just a story, it's a revelation. A journey into the heart of the divine, where we uncover what has been hidden, what has been suppressed, and in the process, we come face to face with the sacred wisdom that lives in each of us. In this video, we will unravel the mysteries of Sophia. We will dive deep into the ancient scriptures that speak of her power and her wisdom, revealing the forgotten truths of creation. You'll understand why the divine feminine has been silenced, and how we can reclaim it. Together, we will explore the shocking secrets that have been concealed for centuries, and how embracing this ancient wisdom could change everything. Stay with me, for this journey will awaken something deep inside of you, a calling to rediscover your own power, to reconnect with the divine wisdom that lies dormant in the world today. The time has come to awaken Sophia once more. Let's explore this truth, and together bring forth the divine energy that was always meant to be part of us. Sophia, the goddess of wisdom, once walked beside us. Her presence was not merely a whisper, but a force that guided the very creation of the universe. She was the divine energy of the feminine, embodying the essence of wisdom that could shape worlds and heal souls. Yet, as time passed, her light was dimmed, her name erased from the scrolls of history, and her power swept away in the tide of patriarchal control. But who was Sophia really? And why has her influence been silenced? Sophia was not a mere figurehead in the pantheon of gods. She was the embodiment of divine wisdom. She was not just a goddess worshipped in temples or celebrated in sacred rituals. She was the energy that existed in the beginning. In the earliest accounts of creation, from the Hebrew scriptures to the Gnostic texts, Sophia is not simply present, she is the driving force behind creation itself. In the Apocryphon of John and the Gospel of Mary, Sophia is described as the agent through which all things came to be. She is the first thought of God, the wisdom that existed before all things. Her essence is one that combines intellect and intuition, logic and love, an energy so profound it can bring healing to the broken, peace to the restless, and light to the lost. But somewhere along the way, as the world shifted, as the masculine energy of dominance began to rise, Sophia's light was dimmed and her influence muted. Why? Why has Sophia been erased from our understanding, hidden in the shadows of male-dominated faiths, and forgotten by generations who now turn to a divine masculine figure that speaks to power, strength, and order, but not to wisdom, love, and creation? What would it mean for us if we remembered her? What could happen if we let Sophia back into the sacred space of our hearts and minds? Sophia is not just a relic of the past. She is alive, breathing within the core of our existence, whispering to us when we seek clarity, when we yearn for guidance, when we stand at the crossroads of our spiritual and personal journeys. To forget Sophia is to forget the deep, healing wisdom that resides within each of us. She is the voice that says, "You are enough. You are loved. You are part of this divine creation." But it hasn't always been easy to hear her. The world has been filled with noise, distractions, and misconceptions about what wisdom truly is. Wisdom is not always loud or brash. It is subtle, often hiding in the stillness of our thoughts, the quiet whispers of our hearts, and the deep connection to the sacred that lives within us. Sophia embodies this wisdom. Wisdom that transcends the physical realm and penetrates the soul. In the Gnostic tradition, Sophia's story takes on a deeper, even darker twist. It is said that Sophia, in her desire to create, gave birth to a being, a divine creation, without the involvement of a male counterpart. This act, while bold, was also an act of rebellion. In some texts, this creation was the cause of the fall of Sophia, as it gave rise to the Demiurge, the blind force that created the material world, imperfect and flawed. And so, the world we inhabit today, with all its imperfections, was born out of Sophia's own mistake, a creation that would eventually come to dominate the divine feminine, suppress it, and try to erase it. But this is where Sophia's story becomes not just one of tragedy, but one of hope. The energy of Sophia never truly disappeared. Her wisdom is embedded in the fabric of the universe, hidden in plain sight. Every time we question the nature of life, every time we seek answers that speak to the heart, we are calling upon Sophia's wisdom. It is in our intuition, in the deep sense that we are more than our physical bodies, in our connection to the divine presence within us. And yet, there are still those who misunderstand Sophia's true nature. Too often, people mistake her for a mythical figure, an abstract concept that has no bearing on the real world. But Sophia is not just a goddess to be admired from afar. She is a guide, a healer, a source of wisdom that is meant to be lived. The mistake is to see her as something separate from ourselves, a figure lost in time, when in truth, she lives in the present moment, calling us to awaken. We see her in the eyes of the women who rise in the face of adversity, in the moments of clarity that come when we stop and listen to the still voice within. We see her in the sacred wisdom of the earth, in the cycles of nature, in the birth of new ideas, in the quiet moments of reflection that reveal the truth of who we really are. This is the true power of Sophia. She is within us all, waiting to be awakened. In the modern world, the image of the divine feminine is making a comeback. The rise of movements like feminism and New Age spirituality has brought the concept of the goddess back into the collective consciousness. Figures like Mary Magdalene and Isis are being rediscovered, and with them, the healing power of the feminine divine. But this is just the beginning. The true awakening of Sophia is a journey that we must all take together, a journey that calls for healing, for balance, for the reclamation of what was lost. To truly understand Sophia is not to simply admire her from afar, but to integrate her wisdom into our daily lives. It is to embody the divine feminine energy, to embrace our intuition, to trust in the power of our hearts, and to understand that the divine is not just a male figure, but a harmonious balance of masculine and feminine energies working together. As we begin to awaken Sophia within us, we open ourselves to the healing and transformative power of divine wisdom. It is not enough to simply remember her. We must live her teachings, speak her truth, and allow her to guide us in every aspect of our lives. When we do this, we not only heal ourselves, but help heal the world around us. Sophia's wisdom is the wisdom of the heart, the wisdom of balance, the wisdom that leads us to truth and love. Her story is not one of defeat, but one of resurrection. She is rising once again in the hearts of those who seek her. And as we reconnect with her, we begin the journey of healing and transformation, both individually and collectively. As you stand on the precipice of this awakening, ask yourself, what if Sophia were to guide your every decision? What if you could embody her wisdom, her strength, and her love? What could that change for you, for your life, and for the world? Sophia is waiting. The time to awaken her is now. In the deepest recesses of ancient wisdom lies a story both mesmerizing and unsettling, one that challenges everything we thought we knew about creation. Sophia, the goddess of wisdom, made a choice that rippled through the cosmos, forever changing the course of history. Her desire to create, to manifest the world from pure thought, set in motion a sequence of events that would forever shape the universe. But what if this act of creation, done without the participation of her divine masculine counterpart, was not only revolutionary, but a profound misstep that led to the birth of imperfection itself? This is where the story of Sophia, the Gnostic wisdom, takes a dramatic turn. She, the eternal fountain of wisdom, sought to create alone, to manifest the divine without the need for partnership, and in that singular bold act, the material world was born. But this world, our world, was not perfect. It was flawed, a reflection of Sophia's own longing, her yearning to give birth to something without the balancing force of masculine energy. The creation of Yaldabaoth, the Demiurge, became the embodiment of imperfection. This being, a creature born from Sophia's unbalanced desire, was the very force that shaped the physical world we inhabit today. Blind, ignorant, and separated from the divine source, Yaldabaoth created the material realm as we know it, flawed, imperfect, and incomplete. This demiurge became the ruler of the material world, subjecting humanity to the whims of a universe dominated by fear, suffering, and limitation. But even as this imperfect world unfolded, Sophia's wisdom did not disappear. It was there, hidden beneath the layers of the material realm, waiting to be rediscovered, waiting to awaken. It is this very wisdom, the wisdom of Sophia, that lies at the heart of our deepest longing. It is the yearning to return to the divine, to seek the truth that transcends the illusion of separation and suffering. Sophia's story is not just about the past, it is about us. It is about the way we perceive our world and the power we have to change it. When we look at the world around us, we see the evidence of her creation, beauty intertwined with chaos, love mixed with pain, life intertwined with death. It's as if we are caught in the tension between what is and what could be. And in this very tension, we find ourselves asking, why? Why does this world feel so unbalanced? Why does it seem that something is missing, something essential that would restore us to our true nature? The answer is embedded in the ancient texts, in the story of Sophia's creation. We are living in the aftermath of a decision made long ago, a decision that led to the birth of the material world, a world that is both a reflection of divine wisdom and a distorted shadow of that wisdom. The perfection of the divine feminine was fractured by an imbalance, a separation, and we, humankind, are the result of that fracture. Yet Sophia's wisdom is still here. It is not lost. It is hidden within us, deep in our souls, waiting for us to awaken to it. It calls to us in our moments of stillness, in the quiet of the night when we seek clarity. It whispers to us in the challenges we face, in the way we navigate the darkness and the light. Sophia is the voice that urges us to seek wisdom in the chaos, to find the divine within the material, to reclaim the balance that has been lost. In the Gnostic tradition, this narrative of Sophia is not one of despair, but one of hope. For Sophia's wisdom is the key to healing. It is through her that we can understand our own nature, the dualities within us, and the divine spark that exists in all creation. When we reconnect with the wisdom of Sophia, we are reconnecting with our own divinity. We are recognizing that, just as Sophia created the world from wisdom, we too can shape our lives with wisdom, healing the imbalances within ourselves and the world around us. It is through the awakening of Sophia within us that we can heal the wounds of the past, overcome the imperfections of the material world, and bring balance back into our lives. The wisdom of Sophia is not just for the intellectual. It is for the heart, for the spirit, for those who seek to live in harmony with the divine order of the universe. This is not an abstract concept. It is a practical, healing force that can transform how we live, how we love, and how we relate to the world. This is where the true power of Sophia lies, not in her mythological past, but in her presence here and now in each of us. Every time we choose love over fear, every time we seek balance and wisdom over chaos, we are channeling the energy of Sophia. Every time we question the nature of this world and seek to understand the deeper truths of our existence, we are awakening the wisdom that has been buried for too long. Sophia's creation of the world was not the end. It was the beginning of a greater journey, a journey that we are all on, the journey to understand the divine wisdom that is woven into the fabric of our existence, the journey to reconnect with the sacred feminine energy that is part of the very essence of creation. And so, as we stand on the edge of this ancient wisdom, we must ask ourselves, will we continue to live in the shadow of an imperfect creation, or will we choose to awaken to the divine wisdom that lies within us? Will we allow Sophia's wisdom to guide us toward healing, balance, and true creation? In the end, the choice is ours. We can continue to live in the world of Yaldabaoth, in the world of imperfection and separation, or we can choose to awaken to the wisdom of Sophia and create a new world, one built on love, wisdom, and harmony. The power is within us to transform, to heal, and to create a reality that reflects the divine order of the universe. Let Sophia's wisdom awaken within you. Let it guide your every step, and may it lead you toward a life of balance, peace, and divine connection. There is a story of resurrection that has yet to be fully embraced, a tale that unfolds not in the distant past, but in the very fabric of our lives, waiting for us to awaken it. The journey of Sophia, the goddess of wisdom, is one of incredible depth, a journey that transcends time and touches the essence of what it means to be truly alive. The world, in its imbalanced state, has long forgotten the divine feminine, the life-giving energy that exists not just in the world around us, but within the very core of our being. Yet it is through the remembrance of Sophia that we can reclaim our own sacred wisdom and rise anew, just as she did. Sophia's story is not one of finality. It is one of rebirth, of ongoing transformation. Her wisdom, suppressed for centuries, calls us back into the light, back into the embrace of the divine feminine energy that we have been taught to ignore, even fear. But now, it is time to reclaim it. It is time to allow Sophia's light to guide us once again, to bring us to a place where we can heal, not just as individuals, but as a collective. The resurrection of Sophia is not a simple return. It is a reawakening that carries within it the potential to heal the wounds of both the individual soul and the world itself. Sophia, in her wisdom, is the force that connects all things. She is the force of creation, the force of life itself, and in every moment we choose to acknowledge her, to open ourselves to her wisdom, we allow the divine feminine to flow through us, healing and transforming everything we touch. This is the magic of Sophia's resurrection. It is not just about remembering her. It is about awakening to her presence, allowing her to guide us, to heal us, and to transform our lives in profound and beautiful ways. Her wisdom is not simply intellectual, it is deeply spiritual and healing, capable of dissolving the illusions that have kept us bound for so long. When we open ourselves to the divine feminine, we open ourselves to the truth that has always been there, waiting for us to see it. In this process of awakening, we discover that Sophia's wisdom is not separate from us, it is within us. She is the voice of intuition, the spark of insight, the feeling that guides us toward truth, love, and healing. Her energy is the energy of the universe, flowing through all things, uniting us to the divine and to each other. When we align with this energy, we are no longer separate from the divine. We become one with it. And in that oneness, we begin to heal. It is through the resurrection of Sophia that we find our true power. This power is not about domination or control. It is about balance, harmony, and wisdom. It is the power of creation, the power of healing, the power to transform ourselves and the world around us. When we reconnect with the divine feminine, we reconnect with the wisdom that lies at the heart of all things, the wisdom that is the foundation of the universe itself. And so, as we open ourselves to the resurrection of Sophia, we also open ourselves to the possibility of healing. Healing from the wounds of the past, healing from the pain of separation, healing from the illusions that have kept us trapped in fear and doubt. Sophia's resurrection is the beginning of a new era, an era in which we no longer need to live in the shadows of our past mistakes or the limitations of the material world. Instead, we step into the light of our true nature, a nature that is connected to the divine, to the universe, and to the sacred wisdom that flows through us all. This awakening is not just a personal journey, it is a collective one. As we awaken to Sophia's wisdom, we also awaken to the divine wisdom within all of us. This wisdom has the power to heal our relationships, our communities, and our world. It is a wisdom that transcends borders, beliefs, and divisions. It is a wisdom that unites us, that helps us remember who we truly are and what we are capable of when we align with the divine. In this moment of awakening, we realize that the divine feminine is not a force to be feared or ignored. It is the force that heals, that nurtures, that gives life to all things. It is the force that restores balance to the world, that allows us to step into our power and create from a place of love, wisdom, and truth. As we embrace the resurrection of Sophia, we are invited to step into a new reality, one where the divine feminine is not only honored, but fully integrated into the fabric of our lives. We are invited to live from a place of balance, to reclaim our wisdom, and to allow that wisdom to guide us toward a life of healing, love, and transformation. This is the promise of Sophia's resurrection. It is the promise of healing, of transformation, of reconnecting with the divine wisdom that flows through all things. As we awaken to this wisdom, we begin to heal not just ourselves, but the world around us. This is the power of Sophia's resurrection, and it is within each of us, waiting to be awakened. The time has come to embrace this truth, to allow the resurrection of Sophia to guide us toward a new world, one that is founded on the wisdom of the divine feminine, one that is rooted in love, healing, and balance. This is the journey that we are on, and it is a journey that will transform us all. The journey to reclaim the sacred feminine, the divine energy of Sophia, is one that is fraught with both revelation and resistance. Yet, there is a trap, a misconception that prevents many from fully understanding and embracing the power of Sophia in their lives. Too often, the divine feminine is relegated to the realm of mythology, seen as a distant, unattainable ideal rather than a living, breathing force that resides within us all. This misunderstanding has led many to approach the goddess Sophia, not as a guiding light, but as a distant figure, an abstraction, a fantasy. The tragedy lies not in her absence, but in our refusal to see her as a living, active presence within us. The first and most common mistake is to regard Sophia merely as an archetype, an image to be admired from afar, like a revered statue or an ancient text. This is a grave error because it disconnects her wisdom from our everyday lives. Sophia is not some divine, untouchable goddess floating in the heavens. She is the energy of creation itself, the very breath of life that sustains and nurtures the universe. To see her as anything less is to misunderstand her true power. Sophia is not just an idol to worship. She is a force to be embodied, a wisdom to be lived. Sophia's wisdom is not confined to the sacred texts of old. It is the wisdom of the present, the wisdom that can be applied to our daily lives. It is in our ability to listen to the stillness within us, to recognize the quiet voice of intuition that calls us to act with love, with truth, and with balance. This wisdom is not distant. It is here, now, within each of us. To fail to recognize this is to miss the very point of Sophia's existence. She is not a distant memory. She is a living presence in our world waiting to be awakened. The second mistake is to treat Sophia as a passive, nurturing figure who exists only to support and guide without challenge. The divine feminine is not simply about giving or nurturing, it is also about strength, resilience, and the power to create from the depths of the soul. Sophia is a force of nature, not just a soft voice in the background. She is the fierce wisdom that cuts through illusion and reveals the truth. She is the energy that gives birth to the world, that sustains it, and that has the power to heal and transform. To ignore this aspect of her is to deny the fullness of the divine feminine, and in doing so, we limit our understanding of her power. The third mistake is to view the resurrection of Sophia as a mere return to the past, a nostalgic longing for a time when the divine feminine was worshipped openly. The true resurrection of Sophia is not about returning to what was, but about awakening to what is. It is about embracing the divine wisdom that exists within us, right here, right now, and using it to create a new reality. This resurrection is not about the past, it is about the future. It is about reclaiming the wisdom of Sophia in a way that empowers us to heal the world, to create a new path forward, and to bring balance to the forces of creation. The resurrection of Sophia is an invitation to return to balance, to heal the wounds that have been inflicted by the imbalance of the divine masculine and feminine. It is an invitation to step into our full power, to recognize the divine wisdom that exists within us all, and to bring that wisdom into every aspect of our lives. But in order to do this, we must first recognize the mistakes that have kept us from embracing Sophia fully. We must stop seeing her as an idol, stop relegating her to the past, and stop treating her as a passive, one-dimensional force. Sophia's wisdom is alive, and it is waiting for us to awaken to it. It is time to stop the misconceptions, the misunderstandings, and the avoidance. It is time to embrace the fullness of the divine feminine, the nurturing, the fierce, the wise, the loving, and the creative power that Sophia represents. It is time to awaken to the truth that Sophia is not separate from us. She is within us, waiting to be recognized, honored, and embodied. As we awaken to this truth, we will begin to see the world around us in a new light. We will no longer view the divine as distant or unattainable, but as something we are deeply connected to, something that flows through us and all of creation. This is the power of the divine feminine. It is the power to create, to heal, and to transform. It is the power to step into our full potential as beings of wisdom, love, and balance. Sophia's resurrection is not just about reclaiming an ancient goddess. It is about reclaiming the wisdom that resides within us all. It is about recognizing that the divine feminine is not separate from the divine masculine, but that together they form the perfect balance of creation. This is the wisdom we must awaken to. This is the wisdom that will heal the world and bring us back into harmony with ourselves and each other. As we embrace the resurrection of Sophia, we will find that the world is not a place of chaos and imbalance, but a place of divine order, a place where the sacred feminine and masculine energies work together in harmony. It is time to stop seeing Sophia as a distant, forgotten figure and to recognize her as a living, breathing presence in our lives. She is the divine wisdom that will guide us through these challenging times, the energy that will help us heal, and the force that will help us create a better world for all. The true power of Sophia lies not in the past, but in the present moment, right here, right now. Let us stop the mistakes of misunderstanding and begin the journey of resurrection. Let Sophia's wisdom guide us into the future, a future where the divine feminine is fully recognized, embraced, and lived. As we conclude this journey together, let us pause for a moment and reflect on the powerful truth we have uncovered, a truth that has been buried beneath layers of silence and misunderstanding for far too long. A truth that calls us to embrace the divine feminine wisdom of Sophia, the goddess who has long been forgotten, but whose presence has always lingered in the shadows of our souls. Sophia's wisdom is not something distant or abstract. It is here, alive within each of us. She is not just a story to be told or a concept to be admired. She is the energy that pulses through creation, the force that sustains life, and the divine intelligence that guides us toward healing and balance. When we awaken to her presence, we awaken to the deepest parts of ourselves, the parts that have been hidden, suppressed, and forgotten. Imagine, for a moment, what it would be like to live in full alignment with this wisdom. To walk through the world with the knowing that you are connected to something greater, something sacred, something eternal. Imagine tapping into the energy of Sophia and letting it guide your every decision, your every action, your every thought. What would your life look like? What would the world look like? This is not just a fantasy or a far-off dream. It is the reality that awaits us when we choose to awaken to the truth of Sophia. She is the spark of intuition that leads us to our deepest wisdom. She is the quiet voice that whispers to us in the stillness of the night, reminding us of our true nature. She is the force that helps us navigate the chaos of life with grace and balance, knowing that we are never alone. But this awakening is not something that happens automatically. It requires intention. It requires us to be willing to look beyond the surface, to see beyond the illusions that the world has placed before us. It requires us to step into the fullness of our own divine power, and to trust that the wisdom we seek is already within us, waiting to be revealed. As you reflect on this journey with Sophia, ask yourself, how can I bring this wisdom into my life? How can I embrace the divine feminine that resides within me? How can I allow Sophia's energy to heal and guide me, not just in moments of need, but every single day? The answer lies in your willingness to step into your own power, to trust in the divine wisdom that is already yours, and to begin living from a place of balance and harmony. It is not always easy, but it is always worth it. Because when you live in alignment with the divine feminine, you align yourself with the very force that created the universe itself. So, I invite you to take this wisdom with you. Carry it in your heart, let it guide you, and watch as your life transforms. The path to awakening Sophia within you is not a linear journey. It is one of constant discovery, of continual growth, of embracing the sacred wisdom that lies within you and in all of creation. If this video has touched your soul, if it has opened your eyes to a deeper truth, I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going. Let's continue to explore this sacred wisdom together. And if you feel that this message has brought light to your life, if it has helped you find peace in the midst of your struggles, I would be deeply grateful for your support, your energy, your encouragement, your love. All of it means more than words can express. With your support, I can continue to create content that brings us closer to the divine, closer to the truth of who we are, and closer to the light that resides in us all. Every small gesture, every like, every share, every comment, it all helps spread this message further. And for that, I thank you from the depths of my heart. Together, we are part of something much bigger, a movement toward healing, toward understanding, and toward awakening the divine wisdom that lies dormant within each of us. Let us continue this journey not as separate individuals, but as a community united in our shared vision of truth, love, and divine wisdom. The time has come for us to awaken to the power of Sophia, to reclaim the divine feminine within us, and to live lives of true balance, peace, and love. Thank you, from my heart to yours, for being here with me today. May the wisdom of Sophia guide you, heal you, and lead you toward a life of profound transformation.